Well, hello, everybody. Nice to be here. My name is Devin Latimer, University of Winnipeg, and I'm very grateful to be living and working on Treaty 1 territory. I'm going to tell you a little bit about online presentations, discussions. So this is a course, I've actually been teaching this course from a distance for 20 years, I guess, and then it eventually went online, and I've been using these online presentations for over a decade now, I guess, and certainly made good use of them very recently. So this is for a second year course. Oh, I can't seem to. There we go. So here's just the way I kind of separate students out. First of all, it can have up to 60 students in it, so I separated them out into small groups. Here's a few typical topics I'll teach in this second year environmental issues course. So ozone layer, climate change, different types of fuels, and then different issues that students are meant to present on within those. So a student will be assigned a topic with 2 issues, and they'll be assigned into a group. Such that you take a much larger enrollment class and make smaller groups, anywhere from 5 to 8 students, perhaps. So student 1 will only be presenting to student 2, 3, 4 in this grid. Student 5 does a presentation in a separate group. So that's all done through learning management. We use Nexus for that. And the assignment kind of goes like this. They are meant to give a video presentation as part of their project. They spend 3 minutes discussing the science basics of the topic. So for example, climate change, and they can really model this after some of the stuff I've discussed in class, a little bit of the greenhouse effect and, absorption of infrared radiation, that sort of thing. But then they spend the next 2/3 of their talk on issues that I haven't discussed in class. So under climate change, that might be albedo, loss of sea ice, that sort of thing. Something still on science-based, but then something out of the realm of science, maybe a little bit of politics, talk about the Paris Agreement. So that's, they have a due date, and this is their assignment, is to give a presentation. And I want to see them presenting and using, a visuals, perhaps something like this, using PowerPoint. And when you get a video from a student, this might be what it looks like. In most cases, they'll hook up their computer in their basement to their television. And these are just a couple of stills from a presentation. You can usually hear quite well, but the lighting will be such that you can see the student, but certainly taking a video of another screen, their TV in their basement, doesn't make for the best visuals. And so what I get them to do is to post their presentation, but also post their slides. And what I do is watch their presentation more like this. I have the presentation running in the background, and then I flick through their slides so that I can actually see the detail a little better. So when using these presentations, this would be my first tip, is that you make sure you get the students' slides as well. Here's an example of a discussion group. You don't have to read through any of this. This was just after the student presented. Here's a typical comment. Hey, just so you can see how much there is. I think your presentation was great. And then there's an assignment to ask a question or make the student dig around. So within a few days of the presentation, there's usually a due date for all students in that group to respond to the presentation. And then the presenter has a few days to respond to that. And this is quite common, is that this question was floated October 30th at 4 p.m. and October 30th at 8 p.m. Just 4 hours later, the presenter was already responding. And so I think it's really, even though he had 3 or 4 days to respond, they're usually watching this, and they really, it's a very good tool for engaging students in the class and in the topic. So just some successes that I've had. Basically, it's across the board, students find this is their favorite part of the class, is this presentation and then the whole discussion group that they're part of. And I think part of that is because it's a small group experience, even if it's in a large enrollment class, where they are the expert in one area. So even if they're not a strong student, they have this one little part of the class, their group, that they are the expert in. And I think giving this presentation in this environment, especially if it's the student's first presentation in university, doing it online like this, recording a video, has much less anxiety attached to it. If they don't like their presentation after they watch it, they can delete it and do it again before they actually upload their final, things like that. So I think it's there's a lot of reasons why this becomes not just another part of the class that they have to learn something, but it's a really good tool for engagement. As far as the instructor, having a video record of the presentation is very useful for marking purposes. Sometimes when you're watching presentations in person, you have to make, without a video record, you have to make do the marking quite quickly. So having a video record of that and being able to look through the slides later is very useful. And with only online, so normally this would be part of the class where students still have a sit down, come into the university final exam, invigilated. But with only online assessment lately, this has become an even more important part of the class for assessment. For me, it's gone from about a third of the class to now half of the course marks for this class. So that's my experience with online presentations. Thanks very much, everybody.